You're listening to Greater Good Radio Hawaii. Please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. Today's guest is Gary Slovin, Managing Partner of Goodsill, Anderson, Quinn Stifel, LLP. Gary serves on the board of several organizations, including Hawaii State Bar Association and Friends of William S. Richardson School of Law at the University of Hawaii.
Gary, can you tell us what's the difference between just practicing law, if you could say that, and now being managing partner and practicing law?
Well, it sure multiplies the amount of time I spend in the office, that's for sure. It's really very different, and combining the two is sometimes a little tricky. In practicing law, and my law is primarily government relations, working with government agencies. I mean, it's the traditional way. You're working with other lawyers, you're working with government agencies. In being the managing partner, it's really like being a CEO. It's essentially, we call it managing partner, it's basically CEO. And in that case, you're running the operation, so you're looking to meet the needs of the people who do the work you do. So, and that's, primarily helping the lawyers achieve their mission, which is serving clients, helping the staff and the lawyers have the tools they need to do the job. And one thing about a law firm, the mission of a law firm is really very simple. Clients come, they really put their fate in your hands when you're a lawyer. And so the mission is clear. You've got to serve the needs of the client. And there's a lot of pressure involved in that. And being managing partner, requires me to kind of have a sense of what's going on throughout the firm and making sure that people have what they need to serve that mission.
How is the teamwork? How are you building teamwork within your organization? Because I would assume that, which probably shouldn't assume, but I would assume that getting a lot of attorneys to get along on certain things is quite difficult.
Yeah, I don't know that a law firm is necessarily different from any other organization. I've been doing this now for 6 months. I had been involved in the management of the firm some years ago. I have a pretty clear vision of what I want to accomplish in being managing partner. As I've told the staff, we had a staff meeting just before I came over here today, and it's really to make this the best possible workplace that it can be, and one of the best, if not the best workplace in the community. There are a lot of different ways of doing it. One thing you do need to do, I think, is to have a clear vision, because if you don't, then the people who work with you, the team that works with you, is not going to have clear direction. I think you have to be very clear about that. In my case, a very clear vision of what I want to accomplish. And then you need to work with team members. We have managers. We have a chief operating officer. Everybody really has to be on the same page there. And then it's a matter of communicating and also coming out with various ideas that get people to feel a part of a team. We're doing different things. Regular meetings, for example, so that people are kept informed. I make it a practice every week to communicate to the attorneys in the firm, both partners and associates, of what's happened in the firm. Make sure people have a sense of what's going on. I think doing different things to make people feel that they really are a part of the team, that they're not separated from the team, is a critical thing. We're just starting. We're looking at various ways of doing that. I think it's something that, frankly, American companies don't do as much as they should, and we are really emphasizing that to make sure that people do feel that they're connected, that they're part of the mission, and part of the whole team.
Where did you learn this leadership style?
I was thinking about that, recently, and talking to a friend who's doing a book on leadership issues. I think that probably early in my life there were some figures who I have probably modeled myself after, but I also think that, your philosophy is a result of all of the people that you work with. And if you're fortunate enough to work with and be friends with people who have good values and good ethics, then I think you incorporate those into your life. So the first lawyer that I worked with in Philadelphia was a person who had an incredibly strong sense of morals and ethics. He was very community-minded and a very clear vision of what he wanted to accomplish as a lawyer. That certainly was a message to me. Certainly, my parents, no matter, you get maybe good and bad from parents, everybody does, But I think that they were people who, again, very honest people. I mean, my father was one of those people who really would walk a mile to return a nickel if he was got too much money and change. So I think it comes from a lot of different places. When I was at the Ethics Commission, the leaders of the commission at that time, that's when I was, pretty young and pretty new to the community, I think they talked to me a lot about the values in the community. I learned a lot from them about what living in Hawaii was like. And I found, as I said earlier, that those values were values that I actually felt. So I think it's hard to know for sure where it comes from. I don't think you can point to any one person where my overall philosophy comes from about this. But as I said, I think it accumulates from just all the people that you hang out with during the course of your professional and social life.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.